Moving on with the event, I want to introduce you to one of our recurring speakers, Vinay. He today is going to be talking about this one tool that he built on his own. It's called Rapid React. So let's have Vinay on the screen with us.
Hi
There he
Digvijay.
is. Hi Vinay, how are you doing today?
I am doing great. How are you doing?
I'm good. I love the what you've done with your room.
Mhm.
A single spotlight on you and darkness behind you. I think that's very aesthetic.
Right. Absolutely.
Wonderful, wonderful. I hope you're doing well. I hope you're keeping safe.
Right. Yes, I am.
Wonderful, great. So, as a short introduction for Vinay, of course, he is a software developer here at GeekyAnts. He has been a part of these React and React Native meetups quite sometimes, and I hope you might remember him from some of the great talks that he has delivered on animation and a lot of different things that he has worked on in React, of course. And today he's going to bring you another project of his that he has built with his own two hands, and well, of course, I'll let him tell you more about it. But on the side, he is a music connoisseur and he loves to produce music in his free time. I hope you still do that, Vinay.
Yes, I still do, but right now because I'm focusing more on development side, so I've kept it on side.
Well, you should, continue doing it again because I've heard some of his stuff and it's crazy. I mean, you should always, share some of the sources if you're putting your music online, so people, all of our viewers here can hear it too. And
Right.
well, Vinay, I'll let you take the stage now, and all the best. Take it away.
Sure. Thank you, Digvijay. So let me just turn on my screen. So I guess my screen would be visible to all. Hi everyone, welcome to yet another interesting meetup that we are having today. It's going to be all about talking about React and React Native, what we have doing so far at GeekyAnts. So today I'm going to talk about Rapid React and how does it work and what is the ideology behind it and what it is all about. So, slight gist that I would like to give you, like what we are going to discuss with Rapid React today. It's going to be like what is Rapid React and how does it function? What are its features? How does it work under the hood? And then we're going to see it in action. And then we're going to look at what Rapid React holds for the future with the roadmap that has been curated for it. So, what is Rapid React? So, it's an amazing CLI tool which helps you scaffold React.js applications from scratch. It helps a developer save a lot of time in setting up React in terms of folder structure setup or writing the boilerplate code for state management, internationalization of the application or Dockerization of the application. So there are a lot of things that a developer needs to do, and also I guess routing is also really crucial part when a developer set up the React application from scratch. So the main aim of this library is to save your time and energy on setting up the React application and get kickstarted with the development. So there are some really cool features that I'm going to just show you quickly. So it's written in TypeScript. So as it's written in TypeScript, it prevents like painful bugs that libraries usually ship with. And then it works on all platforms, be it Linux, Windows, or Mac OS. It's as light as 7 KB, minified and gzipped, and it supports both JavaScript and TypeScript. So usually developers prefer to work with TypeScript or JavaScript based on their preference when they're working with React app. So you can choose which language you want to scaffold React app in, and it uses create React app under the hood, so you're getting the best boilerplate code pre-written. And it offers export preference. Again, it's something totally developer's choice if they want to go ahead with default preferences or named exports. And it also supports the popularly used CSS preprocessor SAS. And you can, when you choose this option, you can scaffold the entire application with SCSS support. And every time there's a new version update available to Rapid React, you get a comprehensive notification, like what is the version update that you have on your next go. And it also set up C routing, and you can also specify custom routes beforehand. So, and then we have scaffolding commonly used folders. So there are some folders that developers usually scaffold, such as configs, assets, src, images, docs, configs. So all these kind of folder names have been baked in, and also you can specify your custom folders as well. You can also install your dependencies and the corresponding dev dependencies as per requirement. And it also set up state management with Mobix as the one of the option. And you can also specify custom store names that you want to have already bootstrapped. And also you can scaffold the entire state management with Redux library. And you can also specify names of reducers that you already want to have set up, along with Redux toolkit, which is a great tool which has been recently developed by the maintainers of Redux. So, and then we have a async middleware choice. You can always choose between Thunk or Saga as per your specifications. And at the last, we have Redux Logger, which is really essential whenever we're working in a Redux-based environment for better debugging. And at last, whenever the Rapid React is finished with the entire setup, it plays a notification sound. So you don't really need to stay in the front of the screen to check when Rapid React has finished its working. So under the hood, we're going to see how's the user interface design, the functionality logic, what data structure does it use, the algorithms. So user interface is pretty crucial even if you're building just a simple CLI tool. And I'm going to show you how does it work in Rapid React. So over here, you can see that we have written Rapid React. It's nothing but just I've used a Figlet library. It's great for, this ASCII art. So you can use it for this purpose. And at the bottom you can see that I have colored the entire user interface with green text or some blue text and some bold text that has been done by chalk, and the stick marks or question marks that have been handled by log symbols, or either you can use figures. So these are the npm libraries. Coming on to the notification update, so like I said, that every time a notification update is available, the version will be shown in this manner. So there's just a beautiful white box. It has been developed by Box and Library. And then package JSON is this library which fetches the remote package version from the npm. And somewhere is a package which tells us if there's any change in the semantic versioning as well or not. And somewhere difference is going to tell me the type of update which is available, which can be the major, minor, patch, or a pre-release candidate. And coming on to this setup, it's being handled by an amazing library which is Inquirer. It's just an interactive way to ask user what configuration you need to have with your entire React application. Loaders, this has been handled by ORA. And then we're gonna come to functionality logic. So the main crust is like, how does this work under the hood, apart from the user interface design? So first of all, as it's a CLI application, it has been built in Node.js. So normal JavaScript or TypeScript files are not executable. So in order to make our code executable, we have to use this particular statement, which is known as shebang. So when we use the statement, it makes sure that we can run this entire package as an executable. So for example, we have .exe in Windows. So it's somewhat similar to this. And capturing user input, I have maintained the entire user input within this JSON, which tells what is the user preference, like the default app name or the folders that he wants to scaffold, if he's using TypeScript or not, and things like these. And then coming on to running the commands to build the entire React application, the bootstrapping part. So as I said, that's working with the React app, create React app under the hood. That's how I'm doing it. I'm just maintaining some command configuration in the JSON. And over here you can see, like for example, I have a configuration for installing the React application with the default command name, the arguments that needs to be passed, the message while it's being installed, the error message and success message. Same goes for installing dependencies and dev dependencies. And this configuration can then be handled by Spawn, which is a utility provided by Node.js. So I preferred using Spawn because it's a good way to execute some long processes instead of exec, which is also another alternate. And then we're going to look at the data structure to maintain the folder structure. So like I said, that user can specify his own folder structures, custom folders, and we also need to scaffold the routings, and we also need to scaffold the entire state management. So as we know that our entire thing is defined in a folder structure, I'm using tree data structure, and this tree is general tree. So a parent can have a number of childs. So this is how it works. All of the blue highlighted nodes, they are basically the directories, whereas the end nodes, they can be either empty subdirectories or some text files. So this is how each node looks like. It's basically an amalgamation of the name, which can be the name of the file or the name of the directory. And children can be either for the subdirectories or string, which refers to a file. So I'm basically maintaining the, for example, I'm going to show you how I maintain the routes. So that's how the tree really looks like. So if user has entered any routes that he wants to scaffold, first of all, we're going to have a router, which has all our private routes or public routes. We're going to maintain that file. So how it works is that we specify the name of the file, sorry, not the file, but the folder router. And then we have a children. So there's a file which is index.cmp.ext is basically short form for abbreviation for component extension, which can be either JS or TS based on TypeScript preference of a user. And in the children, we have a router template, which is gonna, write down the entire template of what a router looks like. And then we're gonna have routes. So here the children's are gonna be each that particular route. For example, home, login, careers page. These are the routes. So we're gonna maintain children for them. For example, index.js or TS, and the corresponding style sheet, which can be the CSS or SCSS based on user preference. And in case user prefers to work with named exports, then we're going to maintain an index.js or TS file based on if user is preferring for named exports or not. Similarly, we can, in a similar fashion, we can scaffold the Mobex or Redux templates or any other folders that user chooses. So this is how the order template looks like. It's nothing much, but it's just a simple function that returns us an ES6 template string where we can just pass our routes, and it's going to map them and iterate over the entire routes array and write on the entire file. So this over here, right, you can see we have browser router, we have switch statement, and in which switch statement we have the another routes, all of the routes. This is the way it has been handled. And moving forward, then this is how the entire final, I would say, the tree looks like when the entire scaffolding has been done. So we have a router which has name as index.tsx and children as router template. Then we have routes. For example, user entered foo as one route, and then user has entered bar and as another route. That's the JSON for that. And if user chose a named export, then we're gonna have a separate index.ts file. So once that's done, I'm gonna just traverse the entire tree with a pre-order traversal. So this is a simple logic. So if at any node the children is string, it means that it's a file, and else I'm gonna recursively traverse each and every children until or unless a string is not found. So this is how it works. If string is found, then I'm going to push the entire that node into a separate array, which is files. Else, I'm going to maintain a separate array, which is directories. And if anyhow the node is not a string, then it means that either it's directory or a subdirectory. And moving forward, once I have traversed the entire tree, this is how the output looks like. These are all the directories and these are the files. So we have the root export. So like I said, in case of named exports, I'm going to have these root exports, and this is going to be a route. So this is the bar route, which has the style sheet file, and then it has the component file. Same goes for foo. It has its component, not component, but the styles file. And then we have the component file. And this is finally our router template that I just showed you. So once that's done, I just use mkdir to write all the directories, and then I write files using the write to file write file this function. And also, let's suppose in case user is using Redux, then we also need to make sure that whatever create get app creates the default app.js file, we need to replace the default app import by the provider statement. So this is just a simple logic which is using read file and write file under the hood, and with some regex we just replace whatever the content that we need to do. And also in case is routing, if we need the routing, then we also need to replace the app import statement by the router import statement. And also if user chooses to work with Mobex, then we need to make sure that the experimental decorators are enabled, in some sort of either tsconfig file or some other way. So that's how it's being handled in this function. So this was just a broad crisp of how things are working under the hood. Also, amazing thing, like I said, that I've implemented playing notification sound. So it's not any rocket science. The entire secret is over here. The fun part. In case it's a Windows platform, I'm just using some PowerShell commands to run that notification sound. Else, I'm in a Mac system or a Linux system. I'm using a third-party libraries, which under the hood uses some AF play commands to play the entire notification sound. So now we're gonna see how Rapid React actually looks like in action. So first of all, I'm gonna navigate to the directory of my choice, and over here I'm gonna write Rapid React. So first of all, you can see that it's displaying the version that it's currently in, whatever the feature that it provides. So over here, you can a developer can choose what his language preferences. I'll go with TypeScript, and then app name is choose demo app, and then we choose what is the preferred export. It's named, and preferred styling would be SCSS. Do you need routing? Yes, I do need. And then we have some default routes: home, login, and about. I'll go with them. And then I need state management. I'll go ahead with Redux, and I do need Redux logger for debugging purposes. And then I'm going to choose the middleware of my choice. Let's suppose that's Thunk. And then we can enter any space separated reducers that we would like to bootstrap. So I'm going to go ahead with foo and bar, and then we can choose from commonly used folders. So I'm going to select all of them, and if there's any separate folder that I need of my own choice, so I'm going to go ahead with configs. And if there's any additional dependencies, I'm going to go ahead with them, and any dev dependencies, these are those. So this is how it works. And I'm going to just quickly switch to what is the roadmap behind the entire future of Rapid React. And as soon as Rapid React would complete, I'll probably hear a notification sound that it has been complete. So roadmap, it's pretty interesting of whatever the features that I have planned so far. So first of all, it's gonna have a dedicated setup to choose from and set up popularly used design libraries, which are these. Because any React application is incomplete if you don't have any design libraries that you're using. It can be either your custom, your own design ones, or you can use and choose any third-party design libraries. And then we have a support for internationalization. Usually the application that we build these days are built at a global level, so we also need to make sure that the apps are internationalized. So Rapid React is gonna provide support for both React INTN and React I18 next. And to maintain a better code quality, if you want to set up Husky Git hooks with lint stage, Rapid React is also going to add support for that. And also, usually we work with Prettier and ESLint configs. So if you want to choose from any commonly used ESLint config, such as this one, even that can be a future version, a feature. And setting up the code splitting with lazy loading and suspense. Right now, the routes are simple. So if you want to scaffold the entire React application with entire code splitting and providing some magical chunk names, even that would be a feature on the bucket list. And at the last, we have an amazing thing, Dockerization. Usually people, or I would say the developers, Dockerize their React apps. So this is something that I still have to figure out how Rapid React would go ahead with this. But this is something really crucial, adding support for Dockerizing the React application. So I guess this is the end of this thing. So thank you, everyone. You can check Rapid React on Product Hunt. It has reached somewhat 60 plus upvotes. You can check it out on NPM. It has good support over there, and it's available on GitHub. It's open source. You can check out the entire. Okay, so let me interrupt you. As you might have heard, the notification sound is complete. The notification sound just played. So right now you can see that entire scaffolding has been done. So I'm going to just quickly navigate to the application that it has just made. Um, yeah. So this is what entire thing looks like. So for example, these are the folders that it has made. And coming on to the router, this is the router that it has designed. And then we have one of the most important thing is like store. So as I said, that it's gonna scaffold the Redux along with the logger, and everything else has been scaffolded with Rapid React. So it preferably is more or less it saves you a day's time, as it drains a lot of effort in writing so much boilerplate code. So it's gonna save you a lot of time in how Rapid React scaffolds the entire application. Coming back to this, so you can check Rapid React on Product Hunt, NPM, and GitHub. On GitHub, it has reached 50 plus stars, and you can always connect with me on LinkedIn and GitHub for any further questions. So I guess Digvijay, you can take over if there's any question answer that anyone would like to ask.
That was amazing, Vinay. That was amazing. I mean, I think the viewers and I are in sync when we want to ask you this, that is there anything that Rapid React has missed?
Right. So I guess the only thing that Rapid React is missing right now is that future roadmap that it has curated
Hmm.
right now. And
Hmm.
I'm gonna make sure that those things are on finished as soon as possible.
Hmm. Great. So Gaurav has one question that he'd like to ask you. He wants to know if React Native project setup is in the roadmap for Rapid React.
All right, so that's a pretty interesting concept. I guess I'm gonna try to see how it goes, and working with React Native is somewhat complex, I would say, because you also need to make sure that the libraries or any third-party libraries that you're using with React Native, they are linked properly. So
Hmm.
sometimes libraries use automatic linking, or sometimes you need to link the libraries manually, or by
Right.
opening Xcode and Android Studio. So this is
Right.
something which is not possible to Rapid React, because it's at the end of the day, it's just a CLA tool. It cannot open Android Studio for you and link the third-party libraries or set up Xcode. So I guess Rapid React might be able to do some bit in React Native, but not everything would be feasible.
Okay. Well, Gaurav, I hope that answers your question. And with that, I don't think we have any more questions for you at the moment, Vinay, but we would love to have you again towards the end of the show. So stick around, would you?
Yeah,
Great.
sure.
Thank you